Hello everyone, this is DavidViadel23 and welcome to the Mandraos Cave. Today we are gonna be talking about Kuchiki Byakuya from Bleach. A couple of days ago I had Kuchiki Byakuya himself actually commenting in one of the videos, and he wanted a drawing of himself. So we are gonna mark here a little bit of a space that we have to draw. As you know already, if you have been some time here in the channel, I have started some Bleach videos a few months ago. I'm gonna put one here that you can check, and in these drawings we did very tiny characters, like cartoonized. It is not this kind of manga realistic type of drawing that Kubo Tite, that is the author of the series, normally does. It is more adapted to what we like to draw here when we are not drawing something like One Piece, like more cartoony type of character, okay? So as I marked here these 4 points, that other drawing, if you can check the video, we have the main characters, basically Ichigo, we have Rukia there, we have as well Sado Yasutora, we have Renji, Abarai Renji, we have Inoue, and we have Uryu. So all together in one video, like a family photo. I think for today we can do Byakuya, Captain Byakuya, here in the middle. That I'm gonna actually, in fact, start doing some of the basics. As you can see, I'm drawing with the big Matic 0.7mm today, okay? But this could be a start of a longer project, a longer video. I could do like I've done with Ichigo's group and do maybe the captains of Gotei 13 here, okay? I think Byakuya is the main captain, let's say the main character within the captains, together with Hitsugaya Toshiro, the younger captain. But we will see how it's going, and if I decide to do with like One Piece only one character, or if we do some characters around him, okay? Maybe if we don't do all of them, we can do maybe the main ones like Kenpachi, Hitsugaya, Byakuya in this case, Aizen maybe, to have the 3-4 main guys here. It could be interesting. It could be interesting because, you know, it is something nice to see for a change, not only one drawing in the paper, okay? So I'm gonna start with the face, okay? Byakuya. I wanna kind of give Byakuya asked for it, so thank you for asking. I'm gonna be explaining a little bit who is Byakuya, what does he do in the story, especially at the beginning. That is my favorite part of this character, and the problems that he has with his strictness, okay? So Kuchiki Byakuya is the captain of the 6th division of the Gotei 13 in Bleach manga, okay? What is this, if you haven't watched Bleach anime, or you haven't read the manga? So this is basically there is a world beyond the world, like let's say the world of the dead. These guys are shinigamis. Shinigamis are the gods of deaths. They are the ones in charge of when someone dies on Earth, they will go to Earth, purify that soul, and by this act of purification the soul goes into the soul society. Let's say this other type of plane in this reality where all the souls live together, but they look like humans, okay? I explained in the previous video the concept of the hollow. If the souls, the human souls, go corrupted, we will see how they transform into monsters, that they are called hollows, with a hole on the chest or in any other part of the body. And basically, these guys are in charge of keeping those bad guys in line as well. If there are some of those, they can eliminate them. If there are some good ones, they can move them into Soul Society. So we this Soul Society is divided in different sections, in different teams, okay, in different, let's say, small armies or small squads, and this guy is the leader of the 6th division. So we have controversy with Byakuya because he happens to be, and we don't know this until much later in the story, obviously, a lot of spoilers are going to be happening here. What happens is that he's the brother of Rukia, and Rukia is our co-main character together with Ichigo in the story. So Rukia, she is explained in the previous video already, but she is basically having her own, let's say, adventure in the real world. Some problems happen to her, and at some point, how she's not returning, Gotei 13 sends this guy to take her, to capture her, to bring her back to the territory. And what we see is Ichigo and Rukia, they encounter these two mysterious guys, this guy and another guy with red hair, that's Abarai Renji. Abarai Renji is the vice captain of this group. So at the beginning it's not set. I would say Kubo didn't think about setting up the concept of friendship between Rukia and Renji and brotherhood as such between Byakuya and Rukia. Okay, so what happens is that they go, they find her in the real world, and they basically fight a little bit. Ichigo doesn't want them to take her because they are friends already. They are good friends already. They already done a couple of adventures together, and obviously he doesn't want Rukia to go. What happens next is that they defeat Ichigo completely. They are too strong. Renji and Ichigo, they clash a little bit, but the ending result is that Byakuya is so strong, he's so powerful that they end up. Rukia basically says, "Yeah, I'm gonna go with them. Don't follow me. I need to go with them." And the concept is that they will kill her. They will execute her because she wasn't actually complying with the rules of Soul Society. Okay, with the Gotei 13. That later in the story that happens to be not entirely true, and there was someone kind of managing this chain of events in the background. That's gonna be the bad guy, and because of these situations that happen with the bad guy, obviously I don't want to spoil 100%. I want you to know some things, but I want to just keep something for myself just in case you're gonna watch it. And basically they were tricked. They needed Rukia. This bad guy needed Rukia for something specific, and she's being tricked. Byakuya is being tricked. Ichigo is being tricked. Everyone is being manipulated in this scenario. Okay, I think I'm gonna move a little bit more up like this, maybe. I've done it very big head, and I wanted to concentrate in making the full design. Probably I need to do this a little bit shorter to be able to fit the whole design of the bottom as well of the legs. Okay. The major difference in style in clothing that you can find in Byakuya, differentiating from Ichigo, for example, or from Renji or from Rukia that we saw in the previous video. I'm gonna put the other video as well here where I'm drawing the rest of the guys because it's two video in one. So when we see the clothing, we see that the captains, and specifically Byakuya in this outfit, he has this white flowing kind of top or cape on top of his kimono. Okay, they are very samurai designed, but they have this extra bit, this extra piece here that is basically what is showcasing the rank of the captain. All of them have this this piece of clothing, okay, and all of them at the back have the number of their squad, basically. Okay, he has the number 6 at the back. The let's do these lines as well. The vice captains, to differentiate them from captain and from normal rank soldier, let's say, they have this kind of bracelet with the logo as well of the team and with the number of the team, and you can see all of them the same. I think the characters in Bleach are very beautifully done, very nicely done, I would say. I love them because they have a lot of personality and a lot of struggle, and it is something that it makes the characters very realistic. And the problem with Byakuya, for example, and I think this is gonna be quite straightforward, he belongs to royalty. Basically, in Soul Society, since forever, there's been these 4 families, and these 4 families are considered royalty, okay? So they rule above these people, but in a specific way. There is a king in Soul Society, and we can go into that in another video, but there are groups of families that they are more powerful than normal souls that go there, okay? And Byakuya comes, he's like the 35 or 36 descendant in line of this. In terms of world building, because in my previous video I talk a lot about storytelling and world building. In terms of world building, this is a flaw in the development of the story, because if everyone here in Soul Society is getting into Soul Society because they die in the human world and they become souls and they are able to grow, okay, like a normal person will grow, because you have different ages, and we see Rukia, we see Renji, we see Byakuya being younger as well here. So there is a different concept of time for these souls. I don't think they can die of old age, but there is a concept of getting old as well here. So basically, with this whole concept of royalty, obviously Byakuya, as you can see how we are drawing him in a line, he's very strict, he's very straightforward, he's very strong, he's very rigid, sturdy. He is basically the pinnacle of the captain power and the captain duty. And because being royal, he falls into this misconception of having to apply by the rules. When Rukia is captured, he goes to capture Rukia, and he is very determined in killing Rukia because she broke the law. And Ichigo wants to stop him, and Ichigo fights him, and Ichigo ends up defeating him and everything at the end of this kind of first main saga of the story, the Rukia saga or the Aizen saga afterwards. We see all of this happening, and it is sad and very human to see how sometimes you need to be, you can't put family above the law. And even if this was manipulated, you see how strict he is and how determined he is to eliminating his own sister. And is very real. Kubo makes it very real, and you are feeling it all the time, and the tension, and you are getting upset thinking like, why he will do this. Later on in the story is kind of developed into him, is kind of explaining to him that why he's doing all these things, and the concept of following the rules as well. But at the very beginning, you cannot discern the point of reality. You cannot understand why a brother will do that to the sister, because in the real world you will protect your family until the last breath. You will try to fight anyone, and you will try to protect your people at all cost. And you need to read Bleach in a very slow way as well. Bleach is written sometimes like a poem. There's a lot of scenes, very poetic scenes, like maybe a corner of a building, a corner of a tip of the sword, or just an eye. Is very detailed in some aspects, and there are some descriptions wrote like you are writing a haiku, for example, a Japanese poem that is by parts, by pieces. You're putting together this puzzle, and maybe just the wind moving the hair, maybe it's just the pace of the steps of the character, maybe it's just the swing of the sword. Especially at the beginning it's more like that, and there are some moments when they release their special powers that as well you can see the portrait of the sense of the poetic. Byakuya is one of those characters that makes everything slow. The walk very royal, very poetic, the attacks very relaxed, very tranquil. So it's something that accompanies the characters as well. Not in all of them, obviously, but in the characters that kind of define that characteristic of the series. Byakuya, I would say, is the embodiment of the style in Bleach. Okay, the style in Bleach, I would say. Ichigo, that is the main character. Ichigo, yes, obviously, of course, represents Bleach, but Ichigo is more aggressive in the fighting, is more brutal, is more direct, and you see that in Bleach when we are fighting. When we are fighting, there's a lot of fight, but when we are being subtle and delicate, I think Byakuya is the one who represents that part of Bleach. All of this is gonna be black when we do the thing. We're gonna do. He's wearing sandals here, but they are very tiny, like this. So we will do like this, and the other feet is here walking. I want to know your opinion as well about the Bleach story, the Bleach videos, if you have watched some of these episodes as well, if you're interested in the story, if you want to see more characters. For the time being I will do this, because it's been requested by Byakuya-sama himself. But we will see how, at what pace I want to do the other ones as well, because we have plenty of things going on at the moment in the channel with how to learn how to draw as well, that I'm gonna put here the playlist, where I am teaching the very basics of drawing, and you can sit with your family, with your kids, with your friends, and do a couple of lines, and only with a couple of lines you have a character, a line of action, or a pose for a character, a face drawn, and you understand the basic concepts of drawing. Obviously, there are plenty of other things that we are doing in the channel, like other series, like introducing Lord of the Rings, introducing Harry Potter, introducing books and animations and stories that I am reading as well, or I'm watching as well, that every now and then I'm doing some videos. But I invite you to sail through the channel a little bit if you like art, if you like creativity, if you like movies, if you like books, because I'm gonna be talking about topics like this all the time, okay? And I'm gonna be listening to your requests. Last week we have drawn Shushu, that was a request as well, that I'm gonna put here, and today we are drawing Byakuya, that is another request, so I am taking in consideration these comments that you write, and if it is in my capabilities, if I know the topic, or if I know the series, or if I know the character that you requested, I will 100% try to fit it in the story. Byakuya is having this scarf as well, and this scarf is very important and expensive scarf, handed over to the head of the family, of the Kuchiki family, one after another, okay? So the ancestor, so the kind of father figure of this family will give the scarf to him, he will give to the next one, etc, etc. For, I said already, like 36 generation is him, but the house it's older, even older, okay? So I think this is very interesting. I haven't done him as small as I wanted. I've done him a little bit bigger. We are missing Sebonzakura, that is the sword here, okay? It's gonna be very tiny here on the side. If you are a fan of Bleach, you know that all these Shinigamis, they have the swords, and the swords have, let's say, a specific power connected to the character. Let's do... I wanna do the face like this. He's always with serious, upset face. I love it, I love it. I say it's not my style of what I like to watch the most. Like, I like to watch more something cartoon, and I like to draw more cartoon as well. But with Bleach, it hooked me up so much when I started watching it when I was younger, that nowadays, as I said in a couple of videos ago, I rewatch it. I rewatch it because I love it. I like as well the style of the fighting, the style of the clothing and the world. I would do some improvements, yeah, because, as I said, it has some things that for me it won't work nicely, or I can't understand nicely. Let's do this part as well. This is as well a headpiece for hair decoration that it is representing royalty in the series as well. You don't see anyone else wearing the headpiece either. Very interesting, very interesting. I'm gonna make the whole thing like covering his face, because how we draw very tiny here, I don't wanna make the whole side of the face and everything, so we're gonna do it like this. And the hair is a little bit wild, and then it flows like this. This guy's hair, it's incredible, incredible. Everyone refers to him always by the surname of the family, the Kuchiki Senjo, or Kuchiki Sama, or Captain Byakuya, Kuchiki Sama, always with respect, because what he represents, okay? The Shihonins, that it's the other family, here are not addressed as that, like that, because they are kind of, let's say, in some sort of exile, in some sort of, they did some kind of dodgy things with a very important character in the series, and they are not seen like Byakuya is seen. I think as well, because of that conflict that happened some years ago, he has this sense of duty and this sense of, I sacrifice my pride. I sacrifice, because actually he calls Rukia his pride later on in the story. He sacrifices his pride for the sake of stability, and that is interesting in a character as well. I like Bleach because all of them have their character very remarked, even if they are all of them fighters. You can see how the character is very remarked in all of them. Interesting, I have to say. As I said, please, I want to know your opinion, I want to know your experience watching or reading this story as well. Is one of my 3 favorite mangas, together with One Piece, and Naruto and Bleach. These are my 3 favorite ones. There are other ones I like, okay, but my trio of well, they always call them the big three to these 3. They are kind of, I always consider them a kind of heirs of Dragon Ball, from Akira Toriyama, and they have been extremely successful everywhere. These stories are gorgeous. I love them. A lot of my creativity as well comes from here, from reading and watching and rewatching all of these stories, because they are very, very, I would say, important for my upbringing as an artist, I would say. So, Sebonzakura Kageyoshi, that's the Bankai. These guys, these warriors, they have something called the Shikai and the Bankai. Is kind of 2 awakenings of these swords that they have. The sword, the katana that they have, is called the Sanpakuto. And the Sanpakuto, when you are a kid, when you are young, at birth, it is given to you. You have one given to you, like plain and normal. And it's never explained from the very, very, very beginning. It's only explained with these guys. You see that they already have their swords in the Shikai mode. They are able to awaken these swords and use their powers. But the other warriors, most of them, the basic rank Shinigamis, they have their swords normal. Only some of them that they are going into rank already in the squads, they start kind of awakening these. So what my guess is that all of them, when they are kids at birth, they receive a katana, a plain normal katana, standard, and this katana is kind of going in communion. He is kind of basically merging the powers with the Shinigami, with the person, and starts to awaken, let's say. And when this awaken happens, obviously you name the katana have name, they have kind of a soul within the katana as well, and they are kind of at different stages. With the Shikai, the sword can do a specific power, no? With Byakuya, for example, you have Sebonzakura, and then Sebonzakura, it's able to, you have the sword itself, okay, it will disappear and transform into cherry blossom, and all of those small petals of cherry blossom are like small knives, and it's everywhere, and it's cutting everything. And then at rank of captain, that is this guy, the guys with the white clothing, you have the next level of awakening, the next level of power for these weapons, that is called the Bankai. And with the Bankai, with him, you have the Sebonzakura Kageyoshi. And Sebonzakura Kageyoshi is like the Sebonzakura, but let's say multiply for 1000. You have more swords around, floating around you, that transform into this incredible cloud of flowers that is moving around, and basically it's almost impossible to cut through this defense that is offering him like kind of a cloud around him, and it's impossible to avoid an attack from this. Ichigo had to struggle a lot fighting against Byakuya several times. They clashed several times, and Byakuya, after seeing how determined and how impossible to kind of make Ichigo bend the knee and understand that this is the law, he respected and he admired him like another warrior, and you see this at the end of the story as well, like how they grow together as a warriors, and they try to find each other, to fight each other, because at the beginning he destroyed Ichigo. But later on in the story, when they start fighting more and more and more, and you see that Ichigo is getting stronger and stronger with every fight, he's looking for him. He wants to look for him, and he starts to understand why the family is so important, and why the family, in this case for Ichigo, is above the law. Nothing that the law is gonna say with Ichigo against his family is gonna make him change opinion, and that is very nice. I think Ichigo, even being a kid, because we need to think that he's 15 years old, and this guy, in theory, is hundreds of years old, even if he looks like a 25 or 30 years old guy. He's been living in society for many years and everything. So we have this kind of very beautiful concept, I would say, how this type of entity, because this is like a ghost, basically, like a spectre, how this soul, Shinigami, this god of souls, is able to learn from a kid and learn the concept of family, the concept of friendship, and the concept of protecting your people. He wants to protect them all. Byakuya wants to protect them all, but you can't protect them all, and it's very nice. So as I said at the beginning, I want to know your opinion about Byakuya. If you have watched Bleach or read Bleach, please express your opinion. Tell me how you feel with how he acts at the beginning of the story, and as well tell me how you felt later on when he changed, because there are more sagas after this Rukia saga. And there are other things happening with Inoue, with other bad guys, etc. Things are escalating in Soul Society, things are escalating as well in the real world, and we have new forces and new bad guys kind of trying to eradicate everything, basically. And Byakuya ends up fighting for Ichigo, becomes a friend of Ichigo, even if he's a little bit distant because he's more introvert and more royal, as I said at the beginning. But he goes and saves him a couple of times. Like remember at the very end of the story as well with the Stern Ritters, that is one of my favorite fights. He goes with Kenpachi, one of the other captains, and they start fighting one of the strongest Stern Ritters, and that is crazy. That fight is crazy. I love it. I love it. It's very nice, very nice. I recommend Bleach 100%. It is a series about fighting, basically. All the story and all the understanding with the story comes through the fight. Okay, there is more fight here and more sword fight and power fight than in Naruto, in my opinion, and than in One Piece, in my opinion. This is more a more aggressive type of story for older readers. Maybe if you are watching this and you are 5 or 6 or 10, maybe don't watch it yet because it's not for you. It's not something that you it may be targeted for you. But you know, late teenager, you are in your 20s or something. I think this can be a very nice read and a very nice watch as well. They recently remastered the 1000-Year Blood Wars. That is basically the end of the story in Bleach, and they made it with nicer animations, with nicer effects, you know, the 2D effects that they do with the powers and everything, and it looks nice. My favorite way of watching or reading these stories is the manga, the original, because that's Kubo drawing it, like Oda in One Piece draws as well the manga and most of the things in the manga. The anime is drawn by other studios and other companies. That is very nice as well, but for my taste, my personal taste, I would advise read the manga first. In the manga you do not have filler. Everything that you see is canon. The scene of some of these stories in manga, in anime, is that they fall into doing too much filler, too much unnecessary things, just so they can have a little bit of timing between manga, what is happening in the manga, and what is happening in the anime. If they would animate too fast, or if they would animate too loyal to the actual story without adding any kind of extra story in between, they would run out of they will catch up very quick with the manga, and they will have to wait, and then you can't release one episode per week that they used to be doing a couple of years ago, because this story is finished. Okay, this story is finished. I'm giving you this kind of heads up to read it and to watch it, and it's finished, so you can watch the whole thing and you don't have to wait and anything like that. And I love that as well. Sometimes for some stories I like to wait and create that tension. Like I've been watching this for many years since the beginning, and I had to wait, and it's good. And but when I finish it, I rewatch it, and I rewatch it a couple of times because I like it, just to understand the world and to see everything that is happening. Okay, it depends of how you like to read or watch your stories. Okay, you maybe like to read it once or watch it once, and that's good. That's enough for you, and that's okay. That's totally okay. The thing is that we are able to share some interest and talk about these stories and talk about these characters and just create a little bit of conversation about art. Okay, sometimes we are very obfuscated in art is only the things that you see in the museum, and we are tremendously wrong in that. We have a lot of talent in other fields like is manga, comic, graphic novels, now video games as well. There are some video games that are masterpieces, and we need to take those things in consideration as well. I have chat with people face to face and online. Oh, I don't like manga, they look silly, or they look this, they look that, and as well, that's people that I haven't actually spent some time watching or reading some manga. Okay, I am not saying here all the mangas are good and all the mangas are art. There are things and things like everywhere, but Bleach specifically, very, very poetic piece of work, very big piece of work. It generated a lot of community, it generated a lot of fan base and money for the author, because at the end of the day, this is a business, okay? Even if it is a story, this is a business as well for him. This is how he pays his rent and his bills and you know, everything for his family as well. So yeah, I think it's a good recommendation. I don't regret having watched this many times, and I like to get into the story. There are some parts of Bleach that they don't make sense much, even in the main story for me, or things that they should have been maybe done different or removed. I talk a little bit in my previous videos, but in general, I will give like a solid mark in my assessment for a recommendation, something to watch, that you're looking for something that you want to watch because you are already into One Piece, maybe you are already into Naruto, but you are up to date and you say, oh, what else can I watch that I may like in a little bit, not the same style, because this is more realistic type of drawing in that sense, but in the same style of storyline, okay? This is a good idea. So Byakuya is looking pretty epic. I'm not sure if I will do more characters around him, because he looks quite complete, and how beautifully designed it ended up at the end, but it's looking good. I think I only need to add a tiny bit, and that's it, of color, because obviously, even if this is a manga and it's black and white, I painted the other ones a little bit, so it makes sense that we paint this one a little bit as well. The type of kimono, the Shinigami robe here, is black. The top cover is white. Okay, so we are gonna make it white. Regardless, I will add a little bit of black lines to give a little bit of volume to the character, to not make it plain, but quite happy with the design and quite happy with the flow. This is kind of his signature move. He just comes in walking, he's flowing, like he's floating a little bit, like a very epic character, and you can see his royalty. The rest of the captains, they do not walk like this, they do not flow like this, they are more down to earth, but this guy is cool. This guy, I would say, is one of my favorite characters in the whole story, if not my favorite character, I would say. Yeah. So let's just a tiny bit. He has a quite pale skin as well, so I don't want to overdo his character. We are not showing the arms because he's always walking like this and not showing the arms, okay? At the beginning of the story, the beginning of Bleach, he is drawn more childish, let's say. He is represented younger. Ichigo as well, Renji as well, the heads are drawn more unrealistically round, and the top is more round and the face is more pointing, more like some sort of baby face. And the style of Kubo evolves as we go into the first saga, and then we finish and go into the second saga, and we see the evolution, and we see how basically we have all the characters kind of maturing in that sense. It gives you as well a sentiment of real time happening in the story, and it's interesting, okay? If you see as well One Piece at the very beginning, the style is different, and after 27 years, obviously now is more put together, I would say, okay? That doesn't mean it's a bad style or anything like that. This is just different eras of the development of the style for the series, okay? So I am gonna be adding these couple of lines. You guys know, if you are following some of my videos, that I like to do this a little bit like this, so it gives some kind of a layer. Let's say you can understand that the scarf here, it's above the, I don't remember the name of the white piece, but if someone is here and is a very nice fan of Bleach and wants to share the name, and just feel free to write the names in the comment section down there, okay? And we just remember then, we say it. This is the scarf flowing at the back, okay? As well, if you want me to draw any of the other guys, let's say, oh, you are very fan of Kenpachi, or Kenpachi, you are watching this maybe, like Kuchiki Byakuya Sama is watching this, and you want me to draw yourself as well, just put it in the comments and we draw you as well. Probably in another page. Let's leave the royalty in his own page, and yeah, we do more characters from Bleach as well. We talk a little bit, and yeah, we open conversation, because I like it. I like to talk about the things that I like, and I'm sure that out there's people like me that like as well to talk about things that they like. So thank you very much everyone for being supporting the channel as well, okay? And the Instagram and everything, I have my Instagram and everything down there as well in the show more sections. We are almost gonna be touching 100? No, we already surpassed 100 here. We are 150 something here on YouTube. Thank you very much, that's very cool. I'm happy that there are people watching the videos and kind of enjoying here with me. As well, we are almost gonna be reaching 1,000 in the Instagram, and that is cool as well. And I'm putting there other content apart from just One Piece or talking about this. I'm putting many other things as well. And the sketchbook tours we have, plenty of things. I'm gonna put the sketchbook tours here so you can have a look. But yeah, let's do some lines like, okay, I'm floating here. Like this, the socks, a little bit like this. I didn't do the shoes because in this scene he is walking inside. I think it's in the corridor and he doesn't have the shoes, but it's like this. Just blacken it a little bit at the bottom, like we understand that he's walking on solid, okay. And I think that is our Byakuya. Kuchiki Byakuya. If you're watching this, the request is done. I think it's looking very nice. I like the end result. We commented a little bit who is Byakuya and what is his connection to Ichigo and how he feels, and the strictness of the character through the whole story, and how he helps Ichigo and Ichigo helps him in some sense as well, and how the shift in the character shows us the legal man, the royal man, the man who gives himself to his society, this soul society, and the comparison with the concept of family and the concept of brother, and how he ends up flipping the coin and having to help Rukia, Ichigo, and later on with the attacks, and having to defend his people for real, not just for some sort of manipulation that he wasn't aware, that they played him there, okay? He's a very clever guy, but they play him there. I would have liked something important. I would have liked Renji to end up being captain, because Renji is kind of aiming to be captain, and Renji is aiming to be someone like him. He admires him, and then he fights against him, and you need to see this growth. That doesn't happen in the story, but I think that part was missing there. Yes, Byakuya and Ichigo are rivals. Yes, there is a point in the story that you can see how Ichigo goes his own way and Byakuya goes his own way, even if both of them are protecting all the worlds. But Renji, I would have loved at the very end of the story, just give me one episode, Kubo. Just give me one episode where Renji is saying, I've been training, I have my Zabimaru here, I have my Bankai, I have everything here, I'm gonna fight you. And you see these two guys clashing, enjoying, smiling. You don't even need to see who is gonna win. You just need to see maybe that Renji is kind of being an opponent for Byakuya. Byakuya already reached his top, and Byakuya could actually say, I acknowledge your power as a fighter, you are gonna be captain. I would have preferred that than Rukia becoming a captain. Rukia becoming a captain at the end, I think, is just very for the fan base, because she was from the very beginning connected to Ichigo, but in power, even if she has the most beautiful Bankai and everything, and the new form and everything, in my opinion, Renji had all the tickets to be there and be a captain and be one of the new captains and have his power recognized. And on top of that, he comes from nothing as well, like Rukia. And the struggle with Rukia is that Rukia has everything given to her. In that sense, they put her in those positions because she's the sister. And obviously, there is a lot of a story with the lover, with the wife, the woman of Byakuya, and the resemblance with Rukia and everything. That we are not touching that because it's irrelevant for what I wanted to explain. Okay, but Renji came from nothing, became vice captain, and it would have been very nice and very final touch for him to reach that kind of pinnacle of warriorhood, I would say, that is being a captain of the Gotei 13. If there are more things going on with Bleach now, with these guys have kids, the other guy, and at some point he becomes captain, or at some point he does this and that, it's another topic. But my own experience with this story, and my only issue with him is that he should have faced Renji at the end, or even he should have looked for Renji and say, Renji, now is the time, give me all you have and I'm gonna give you all I have. And you see the battle starts, you see both enjoying, like Son Goku and Vegeta, that they fight and they enjoy, and maybe you don't see the ending. You can assume he lost, you can assume he won, you can assume whatever you want, but I missed that as a storyteller myself and world builder myself, something to tell me there is more to Renji, and it's not just gonna be randomly going around and that's it. But feel free as well, if you have read the whole thing, to drop your comments in the comment section and open discussion about this. What do you think about the ending, and what do you think about Byakuya in particular, and the connection with Ichigo, with the connection with Rukia, the connection with Renji, okay, and on all of these things. We finished for today. Let's sign, okay. This is DavidViadel23, DavidViadel23, you can say it as you want, and this is the Mandragon's Cave. I hope you enjoyed the video, I hope you enjoyed this kind of analysis, description, review of Byakuya, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much, bye!